757 House Whisperer show coming at you live on Facebook Live. We're calling on 790 AM. We're excited to be here tonight. It's me and Albin from Albin Co. We are here to tell you about your house tonight. We got some trivia questions. I have a fantastic air conditioning trivia question for you. In fact, some of y'all been experiencing this situation, the mathematics of the delta T from outside design temperature to inside design temperature. I will give you a hint. You cannot get it to in the 60s, or should not be able to get it into the 60s in your house when it's 97 outside, or your system is very oversized and molded mildew is in your future. So
did you give away the answer? Or you
got no, it's not. That's not the trivia question. Right. But yeah, that would be very likely that I would just keep talking. But yes, no. So I would give you the trivia. I'm gonna introduce everybody on the on our show, all of our co-hosts that are here every single week to educate the 757 homeowners, our neighbors, our friends, our clients. This is a public service announcement show where we're just telling you information about problems with your house. Your house is a problem, sometimes more a bigger problem than somebody else. So I didn't see what that said.
Yeah, it just said turn me up a little bit.
Oh, turn Albin. Nobody can hear Albin 10%. Yet. All right.
So, all right. I got to be a little louder because
I'm a little bit louder.
Compensates a little bit for you.
I get excited. I get excited about what we're doing here. And
I am too. I just don't vocalize it as much as you.
So one of the girls in my office says, Chuck, you don't get mad, you get passionate. I wonder if my wife says the same thing. That I am just passionate.
She doesn't say the same thing. She probably would agree.
I think she would. I think she would. I'm very, very passionate guy, especially for stuff that I believe in. And building science is just, it's been one of my things that I have been dealing with for 25 plus years, solving problems that contractors in the past have not been able to solve. I like to take the building science approach where let's go to the science before this is my opinion. That's my opinion. This is my opinion. Let's go to the manufacturer data. Let's go to the problems in the house. Let's go to, my quick one is hot touches cold causes sweat and condensation. That's like one of my most popular things. It's simple. I like to make it see, spot, run. Like there's problems in your house that you think are the problem, and sometimes it's actually the symptom of what the really problem is. The biggest example is that it's like sweat and ductwork. It's typically probably the crawl space is too hot versus your air conditioner is too cold, right? So, anyway, just getting started with the show. This is the 757 House Whisperer. I want to remind you to call in at 757-627-7979. Last week we had 7 callers. We could not fit everybody in on the call. So call on the front of the hour so we have time to get to everybody's call. I think I had to call one of the customers or listeners after the show was even over. So call on the front side of the hour so we have time to kind of figure out how many calls we can get to and stuff. So 757-627-7979. Should I say that again, Damien? 627-7979. That's any problems with heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space work, attic, sweat, ventilation, 2x4 sizes, which is one of, I'm going to let Albin introduce himself and his trivia question. So, but I am Chuck Worley. While we're waiting on your calls to call in and ask any problems in your house, questions, you cannot stump us. We have not been stumped in over a year.
Call in and get a gift card.
Call in and get a gift card. We've actually got a new sponsor, a coffee sponsor for the show. So I am going to give you some more information on that. But while we're waiting on calls, I'm going to say this is Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. We do heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulation, spray foam insulation, and you will recognize the brand because it is the most beautiful orange and green truck you've ever seen in your life. diagonal Worleys on it. And it's got all the things that we do inside the letters. It's kind of cool logo. But so anyway, that is me. I'm going to introduce Mike Davenport with CVP Windows and Doors. He is our windows and doors sponsor for the show. Any questions, windows or doors, my man can answer. Then we have Cindy Raw with Alpha Pest Solutions. She has been on vacation, resting up. She'll be back ready to go, raring to go next week. Actually, next week, we're actually having a party here before that little dinner before the show. And you kind of just hang out because we are all friends. It's hard to find good contractors and character and integrity people and in contract. And we enjoy hanging out. And we're going to do that before the show next week. So Cindy will be in next week. And you want to introduce yourself and Jack?
So introduce Jack first with Jack Keller. His company is Legacy Painting. He does indoor, outdoor painting. He'll come in and move content and touch up your walls, paint the walls, trim whatever you might have, do any exterior stuff. I think he'll even prep some stuff by power washing on the outside if he has to. He stays busy doing a lot of painting. He's got a nice crew going. So, and my name is Albin with Albin Co. We specialize in remodels, a lot of kitchens right now, and we do baths and additions and even new home construction. So on to the trivia questions here. As a builder, I've got to come up with these builder questions, or should I say I like to. So when you're building the wall, 8-foot ceilings, what is the pre-cut size of the stud? You can order an 8-foot stud. It's not recommended, but you can get it all cut to size, so you don't have to sit there and cut 200-300 studs for your addition or even more for a house. So what is the pre-cut size of those studs that will form an 8-foot wall?
So is it the actual to the inch cut, or is it?
No, it's down to the eighth.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Give me a little
and then one other trivia question here. We use I-joists in building. These are wood I-joists. I would like you to call in and tell me when these were invented. We'll give you a 10-year plus or minus variance there.
So
Should
cheating.
I say within
No
the decade? Let's try
cheating.
to get it within the decade. What year were they invented?
And then my trivia question with air conditioning, I know everybody's thinking about air conditioning in the last 6 weeks.
You know it.
It has been absolutely just insane.
I'm thinking there's probably a lot of people thinking about how their air conditioning is not working correctly.
Exactly. So we do load calculations, CAD drawings, like we measure the windows and what type of windows they are, how much insulation you have in the house, 6 inches, 8 inches, R50 insulation, which is what we like to put in. I think it's R48 is code, right?
You even calculate, you even position the house within like elevation.
Yeah, so we can rotate. Yeah, we rotate the house east, west, and obviously being worst case, and then but actually take the rotation of your house that it exists in. You could have the same house side by side on one street and another street, like side by side, backed up. The right and left side are backed up to each other. And their load calculation could be as much as a half a ton to a ton off. And why that is the type of insulation, what years the houses were built, what the codes were as far as insulation. Was it an encapsulated crawl space, an open crawl space? Is there ventilation? Is the ventilation proper?
Mm-hmm.
Is it one house is spray foamed, one house is not spray foamed? I mean, that could be a ton and a half.
Could be down to the brick and the siding.
That is true. So one is a brick house, one has siding, one has that insul siding on behind. One was built in the 50s with zero insulation in the walls. So, but even in an identical house,
worked on a house recently that was like that.
Yeah, I do too. I remember that. He was smart. He spray foamed it. So, thank you. I love it. So anyway, we're looking for what is the design temperature that goes into these load calculation softwares for Virginia? I think Norfolk is actually the centerpiece for us. There's Richmond as a designated city, Norfolk is a designated city. So they take these cities in the country, all across the country, and they figure out the amount of hours run for this area, for heating and for air conditioning, based on the pinpoint. Like I said, I believe is Norfolk City is the exact definition in our load calculating software. What is the design outdoor temperature and the design indoor temperature of a perfectly sized heating and air conditioning system? What are those two temperatures? And then, of course, if you know those two temperatures, you'll know the delta T from outside temperature to inside temperature. So that's what I want to, that is my trivia question. I am sure I'm going to have some people calling in on that. So I've got, yeah, that's the map there. Yeah. That's so Albin was cheating and going on Google, which y'all are not allowed to do, but their weather patterns.
I was trying to figure out the name of it. They have zones for these particular situations.
Yeah, and the load calculating software
is at least your design
zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like across the country from north straight across from Cali to Maine. So it goes straight across, not straight, but it wavy line over.
And it's all based on temperatures, humidity, and
one's closer to the
probably
equator.
elevations.
Yeah, 100%. So it's pretty cool software program. I've actually been using it since 2001, and it has had some incredible upgrades to it. I mean, you can draw in kitchen sinks now, like, not that we need to do that, but I mean, it's a pretty detailed thing. So it shows the ductwork. You can draw the ductwork in it now. It sizes the ductwork kind of for you. So I mean, it's a really great soft. Right Soft is the name of it. It's a pretty good program. But when we're selling ductwork, we go in, especially when we're selling ductwork, because we basically don't take any chances on it being sized properly. So the ductwork is right. We just rip it out, put everything back in.
It's kind of your roadmap to a good install, huh?
Yeah, it really is. And the guys can they have a printed out. This is what the size is. This is the way we're running it. And of course you always run into obstacles. There's plumbing pipes in the way.
Customers like that too, because they want to know, what am I getting for the money that you're charging me? And so this gives them the ability to understand that you've got it all figured out down to exactly every size.
104 CFM in that room, 313 CFM into that room. Well, they're the same size room. Yeah, but that one's got a glass door in it.
But it also protects you. It protects you, because if the customer comes back to you and says, "Hey, I'm not getting enough air here," you've got a certified design right here that says this is the design that works.
That's correct. I mean, we have airflow hoods. We've got we have access to blower door testing, negative pressure testing on the houses, trying to figure out how loose the house is or tight the house is. All that stuff comes into play. So I cannot believe I don't have people thinking they're smart calling in about this air conditioning already. I figured the lines would blow up because everybody is talking about air conditioning right now. Even if your system is working, you're probably complaining about your air conditioner.
I have to wonder, I'm guessing there's been a lot of times where you've got the calculations right. You've got it spot on. You went through, your design team went through all the variables, and for some reason something's not working right in the house, and then you come in, you bring, like you said, would you call it, the blower door test, and then you realize that you got extensive losses somewhere that's causing a miss.
It's abnormal, for an abnormal house, absolutely. So that can happen. We do get jobs referred to us by other heating and air companies that they don't have that capacity, or they're not building science guys. They just slap the system in and that's all they want to do. So a lot of times these bigger companies, franchise companies, they in my trade, unfortunately, our industry standard is the guy that moves the most boxes wins. That is not our philosophy. We want to do the right job every single time, right? So how do we get there? We do the job right. Most people have heard me say this on this radio show before. Our values are character, integrity, and doing the right thing. And it's important. I think all the way down to doing the right thing, having the right people on the job. I always say great people make a great business. You get a bad seed in a church can go bad, right? So great people make a great business, great people make a great church, bad people make a bad church, so it's everything is about the people in our company. We do a very, very good job at shielding. I could hire 10 people today, just off the top of my head, that have worked for us in the past, and they were cut short for one reason or another. But I'm not willing to drop my standards to get more business and to get more work done. It's, you either respect the process, I guess. We're not just hiring anybody off the street. On that note, Worley's is hiring. We are hiring HVAC technicians, service technicians, and HVAC installation techs. We probably have 30 guys on a wait list for apprentices to come in, but we need seasoned guys. 3 to 5 years minimum of installation or service techs. We need technicians that are honest, they have character, integrity, doing the right thing. If you're working, the reason I opened up Worley's was because I couldn't find a company that I trusted to work for. When your standards are higher than the person that you're working for, that puts you in some very awkward situations. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's bad. You probably had that before. The reason I opened up my company was to create a company that I wanted to work for, that I could be proud to work for. Well, I know I'm going to be proud to work for this because I know I'm going to do the right thing. The problem is when you're working for somebody else, you don't have that final say, that final call, I guess, for a lack of a better term. But I think it's important. You look at our 10 commandments of an employee, you look at our mission statement, our vision statement, it is one of the things that I like about our vision statement is to honor God with the work done with our hands, it's not just slapping in a heat pump. It's actually helping an 88-year-old lady not be sweating in her house every time she walks in it. I feel like we're doing, not just slapping air conditioners in, we're actually serving the public. We're serving people, and they are so grateful. We have some fantastic, if any of y'all are customers of ours, I am so grateful for our customers. They are what's put us where we are today. It's really important.
If you're listening tonight and you're thinking, well, I'm not going to go work for Worley, but maybe you do have somebody that that you're like, everything he's talking about, honesty and integrity and all that stuff, somebody that would fit the bill. Pass the word. By the way, Alvin Code's hiring too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a hiring show.
Yeah, we need experienced carpenters, well-seasoned carpenters to come on board that fit all the same characters that we're speaking of. So if you fit the bill or somebody that does, give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a short time left. We are waiting on your call, 757-955. I even wrote it on the wall, but I covered it up.
955-627-7979.
Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah.
627-7979.
Yes.
But if you do want to call off air or text, you can go to 955-9415.
Yes, I've got a few texts already of customers that are that sent me some questions that I'm going to be answering that we have gotten this week. So 955-9415. You can text questions if you don't want to call. Whisperer Show, coming at you live from not Norfolk, down in Yorktown, Virginia. We are on Facebook Live. You can see us again on Spotify. We rebroadcast the radio show onto Spotify, so have a lot of fun. You have to look that up on 757 House Whisperer Show for all our past shows, and it's pretty cool, and it's like up on the web forever, you know. So this is Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. I do heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulations, and spray foam insulation. The other thing that I would like to talk about is somebody calling in to ask a question or a problem with their house. I can't believe I haven't had 13 air conditioning questions tonight, because it has been a smoke show the last 6 weeks, man. We have been underwater. It has been so hot. Every year we have a couple weeks that just, you know, it's guys are working like crazy, but when it's this many weeks in a row, man, it is just taxing. So anyway, 627-7979, call in and ask questions. I've got 2 text messages that I want to respond to. I want to remind you that we are going to be giving out a gift card for anybody that calls in and answers any of our trivia questions. I'll let Albin do his. I'm going to do mine, and then let you guys who are just tuning in now to take a shot at those questions. My trivia question is, what is the design outdoor temperature and the design indoor temperature when I am doing the CAD drawings and load calculations for the heat loads in the houses in the 757? Is that clear enough? I think that's
Yeah,
good.
I think so.
Yeah. So what do you think the outdoor temperature and indoor temperatures should be for design?
What's the temperature outside and what's the set point inside?
Yes.
All right.
And it's not 65 like people think that it's going to get to. If your system gets to 65 right now, something's wrong.
Yeah, you're going to have some moisture
you're going to have
somewhere.
You're going to have some mold shortly. So go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah. So
627-7979.
So the question I have is, when you're building a house, you can shortcut the amount of time it takes to frame up your walls by ordering your studs pre-cut. If you're doing an 8-foot wall, if you know what a 9-foot stud is, that's fine too. But what are the pre-cut sizes for an 8-foot stud? Or you can give me the pre-cut size for a 9-foot stud. Either way, they're I'll give you a hint. It's not 8-foot and it's not 9-foot.
Okay. So those are your trivia questions.
Oh, one more.
Oh,
so
yeah.
When was the I-joist invented? So this is a wood I-joist. We use them in construction. Well, give me the decade of when it was invented.
That's a good one. And you're being lenient on the date.
A fuzzy match, they'll be good to go. They get a coffee regardless, right?
That is true. That is true. It's really,
you call in and give the wrong answer.
Yeah, you can't lose. And even you can text at 955-9415. You can even cheat, not call into the show, and we'll read your question out loud. You don't even have to give your name. People are so shy tonight. Last week we had 6 calls. We didn't even answer them all. So the gift card this week is going to be Column 15 Coffee. They are up in Williamsburg. It's a great new little coffee house. And they have just partnered with the Mariners Museum next to CNU. So they actually have a coffee shop right there in the Mariners Museum. It is a pretty cool little shop. I met Mr. James Kroll, Kroll, K-R-O-L-L. Is it Kroll? Kroll.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, right? So anyway, he's the manager and owner at Column 15, and it's column15.com if you want to check them out. But they have offered to offer us a free coffee to any callers that call in tonight. So if you're on the south side, it'd probably just be a gift card. So we'll send that over to you. So it looks like we got a text message. Another question. So let's introduce everybody while we're answering these texts. So 757-627-7979. Call in and ask any questions about issues with your house. So I'll introduce Mike with CVP Windows. Michael Davenport, he's the owner, co-owner, and CVP Windows and Doors. He's our sponsor for that. And then Cindy Raw with Alpha Pest Solution. She is the only woman that we know that has a license to kill
Animals.
That's just
like,
correct.
you know,
Don't tell that. That
stuff
people
like
makes
that.
people question.
Yeah, I know.
And she will jump under your house and make any manly man feel unmanly because she is not scared of nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
She
I
had
think
how
Chuck
many
told me
snakes the
one
other
time
day?
were you on site one time and you looked around, she'd already
No, she was already under the
like,
house. I was like, what in the world?
Blink and you'll miss her, right?
I was like, man.
Yeah,
she is not scared of anything. So.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit weird that she's that comfortable being in
she don't
those
care.
confined spaces.
She is not scared.
No, she is, she'll get down there and talk to the animals.
She is not claustrophobic, I promise you.
Yeah.
So, but she'll do a free inspection under your house if you got any questions or concerns. She just did pest control at our farm. We got a 5-acre farm with typical stuff in the hay, and we don't like those. We don't like little things staying there unless they're paying the rent. So
when the hay starts moving by itself,
that's a bad thing. Yeah. So she put some boxes out and took care of that. Then we were putting up some fence posts and taking some fence posts down. And some of the fence posts you couldn't lean on. It just broke off because there was some termites in it. So she went out and actually sprayed our 2,000 linear feet of fence line.
Wow.
So yeah, she did it on like Saturday or Sunday for me. So she was busy and she's like, I'll come by. So she's awesome, man. Customer service, unbelievable. So, but yeah, and then go ahead and introduce.
Yeah. So Jack with Legacy Painting, he is the paint specialist on the team. If you have paint questions, you're trying to figure out, do you have oil on the wall or latex on the wall, or you want to change from one sheen to another, or whatever it might be, he can probably answer your question. What type of sealants you should be using, or anything paint related, inside or out, he's got you covered. So, and my name is Albin with Albin Co. We specialize in remodels. We're busy with a lot of kitchen remodels right now. We do bath remodels. We do interior remodels, whole house remodels, and then also do new home construction. So give us a call, 757-627-7979.
So we got a text that just came in.
Okay, great.
Pre-cut studs. So I'm sure somebody's listening. Pre-cut stud answer.
Okay.
So we're getting ready to see if this is the answer.
Okay. So they're typing it out right now.
They're typing it out. I thought he was giving it to you. So all right, we're gonna have to wait on that one.
You wonder if he's pulling up, asking AI right now.
Huh? Yeah, he's asking AI exactly. So if the sentence is really nicely grammatically spelled out, we know you cheated.
Yeah,
like we know.
Or maybe it's just AI texting it out.
Yeah, it did. Could be.
Hey, we got a caller. We also got a caller. Hope in Virginia Beach.
All right, let's go.
She's got a storm door, hard to open question.
All right, so I got a text from Sean. We're gonna get back to his question that he actually texted in. But while we have Hope on the phone, we'll go ahead and answer her question first. So go ahead, Hope.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Great.
Happy 4th of July.
To you also.
I have a door, and on the outside there's a storm door, but it has pass number to get in, but it becomes harder and harder to open it, and I think it's because of the humidity.
Very well could be. How long has the door been there?
Well, it's an 80s house.
How many kids you had?
How many what?
How many kids do you have, or did you have?
I don't have any children.
Okay.
Oh.
I have two.
I'm just curious. If I was a kid and I had a house like that, I probably would have swung on it a few times.
That's funny.
I'm just wondering if a kid has maybe used it as a little swinging lever there.
No. We live on Sylvan Lake, right by First Colonial High School. So it's
Yeah.
a really nice neighborhood, Sylvan
Okay.
Beach, Sylvan Lake. So, and the houses are rather costly. I'd say that there's one like over $1 million on the street.
Wow.
And
Not
most of them go for that much on the lake. And mine is on the lake. But I just don't know if I should replace the door. I mean, I'm 78 years old, and I certainly do not swing on the door. So,
or
and my
I don't
dogs
know.
don't
She
either.
seems pretty spicy. I think she might swing on the door.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, that's
is it just not latching, or is it a latching issue, or is it actually rubbing as it's closing?
I have to really slam it hard to close it. And then when I go to open it, you know, it has one of those pass keys. I've really got to kick the door to open it because it's so swollen. I assume. Do you sell doors?
we do. Yeah, that would be Michael Davenport. I will have him give you a call tomorrow.
Okay.
And,
You said
Okay.
it was a storm door, though, right?
No. I
It's
have
not
a storm door.
We got
we got a
It's a
mistype.
regular
We got a
Excuse me.
mistype. in
I
our-
kind of assumed it was a storm door because we had a little typo here in the question being typed out. So this is actual door issue.
okay.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can definitely get Mike to come out and take a look at that for you. It could be I'm just thinking maybe the hinges are loose. Have you noticed any screws loose on the hinges? Does the door seem
I was a
like
Spanish teacher. I don't notice these things.
okay?
Yeah. So it could easily be just some, needs a little TLC to maybe take care of a couple things to tighten up some screws. If
I mean, is
was
it
built in the
possible that
80s and it's an original door, it could. Do you have a large overhang over the front of the house, or? I'm just wondering how much driving rain may be getting to that door over time.
That's true. Yeah, that could be.
Well, I mean, could it be the humidity?
Yeah,
It could easily be the humidity.
But if that door's been there for how long?
Since the 80s.
Yeah. I feel like that's not.
But I mean, again, it could just be TLC. It could be. Here's another thing. 80s, the door could have been painted 5 times.
Right.
Believe it or not,
Yeah.
5 coats of paint on a door, it's going to cause it to rub. So
Sure.
it could easily be just a little bit. If you really are in love with the door and you just want to
No,
keep that door,
I'm not.
So otherwise,
Okay.
Michael Davenport can take care of it.
And then it
Get
looks
your new
like
door in there.
how often do I clean my ducts? Now I will tell you this. Say
The
what?
filter off, and I looked in there, and it was really bad. And I don't think they've ever cleaned it.
So
And do you do
use-
that?
Yes, we do that during in the fall season, not in the middle of the peak of the summer, but we'll do it in the fall. Now, there are duct cleaning companies that they'll tell you have to do it every 6 months, every year, but that is just not accurate information. I mean, because there's ductwork out there, it's 40, 50 years old, it's never been cleaned, that is okay. It depends on how loose the house is, how if you have an open crawl space, if you're up in the attic, the insulation can be breaking down. So there's a lot of factors to that. If the ductwork was sealed properly when it was first installed, because that's the big thing. Why is getting all the information, all the stuff getting in there? It's typically from infiltration from ductworks, not necessarily sealed as tightly as they are now. New duct systems going in now are just sealed so tight. So, and I'm not saying you need a new duct system. I'm just saying that there are times that every couple of years, it just depends on your preference on do you have a lot of allergies? Do you have a lot of maybe upgrading your filter system on the house? Is it those types of things? But in general, I mean, every 3 years, if you are really sensitive to sneezing, coughing, if you're really having issues like that. But I'll see people go 5 years, 10 years without, having to go back and
one of
clean
the
themselves.
problems you
But filtration's important, and infiltration is important.
Yeah, one of the problems you might run into, and I don't know how long you've had the house, but if somebody had the house before you and ran the system without filters in it, that could be an issue.
Thing.
So, if you're looking in there and you're seeing it's really dirty, maybe get Chuck out there. His team will evaluate the situation and like he said, in the fall.
Yeah, we can definitely. I mean, we can set an appointment, this week for the, the fall, September, even October if you wanted to kind of just do a run through of all the duct systems and see if you really do need anything as far as duct cleaning. So I tell people all the time why I was raised by a Navy chief and a CB. One of my dad's saying was, every man armed with a hammer treats everything as a nail, right? So any man armed with a hammer treats everything as a nail. So you call a duct guy out there, he's going to solve all your problems with his duct cleaning machine. You send an insulation company out there, they're going to solve all your problems with insulation. You send a heating and air guy out there, he's going to solve all your problems with your heating and air conditioning. With us, we have a tool belt. We do it all. So we don't have to sell you duct cleaning a day because because we would say, hey, look, why don't we tune up the unit? Why don't we? So we're going to look at what your problems and issues are and really find the exact solution. And then if it's something that we don't do, we're going to try and refer you to somebody that we've used in the past personally or whatever, So, so that's what I would recommend. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate the call. And actually you had 2 questions, and I've got another question through text, and we have one answer. Well, we have an answer to your trivia.
Okay,
too.
Cool. Thanks, Hope, for calling in.
So we had Brian by text call in. You want to read that out? Is that accurate?
Okay.
Information.
So pre-cut studs for an 8-foot wall are 92 5/8.
You close?
Yeah, that's it. Right.
That's
there.
it.
That's
all
the
right.
number right there. So once you add, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, that doesn't add up, right? Does it? So you come up with 97 1/8 is your actual overall height of your studs or your wall, which is a little bit more than 8 foot. But you got to remember, you put 1/2-inch sheetrock on the ceiling, you're going to get close to that number. So that was the correct number. It's 92 5/8.
That is awesome.
So,
that is awesome. Nobody's taking a shot at my air conditioning.
Anybody out there that's considering putting up an addition anytime in the near future, this guy just saved you some time. You just go and say, hey, I want some pre-cut studs. And then for your top and bottom plates, I usually just get 16 footers. You can use that for all your bracing and all that stuff. Of course, if you don't know, you're going to want to have a double top plate on the top. And then if you're in contact with concrete, you're going to want to use a treated base plate for your wall.
All right. So let me read this text message. So I've got a customer who called in and his name is Sean, and he has had some issues with water stinking like sulfur or rotten eggs. And I have run into that before. Thank God, not at my farm, but they were digging a fence post and the groundwater even stunk. They're in
interesting.
Yeah, they're in Chesapeake. They installed a $1,000 filter, like water filter. It was being on a community.
Is that sulfur?
Well water.
Is that the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So being on a community well water, called the owner of the pump company. They mentioned an aerator, which is not the answer. He said, sorry, this text is long. One of the other houses said the water heater wasn't right. And then his explanation is, look, it's the cold water that stinks. It's not even the hot water. So we have had to make some things. There's some rods that you can put into the electric water heaters that will stop that sulfur, because it's just the way the water interacts with that water heater. I cannot remember the name of those rods, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's a special type. So if you have a water heater and your hot water is smelling like sulfur, there's a special rod that you can put in that we can do for you. And then basically sulfur oxide molecules. Yes. So he's like, what's the radio guys say? So I appreciate his faith and confidence in us. And so here's your answer. I talked to one of my plumbers about this actually yesterday. There are treatment systems out there, but he is correct. You are not going to spend, this is not $1,000 repair. It is thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not 10 grand, but it's not 5. So it's, it's called a Halo water treatment system is the one that we have. The special thing about that is it actually self-cleans, which is one of the benefits and why trying to stop this from coming back. Noah is on our team, and he is.
I just looked it up for a Coro Protect powdered.
Yes, that's correct.
Rod.
Yep. That is the one for the electric water heaters. So hopefully that helps clear that up. But definitely, if anybody's having any of those issues, Noah is great at that. One of our plumbers. I do want to answer. We've got a few minutes left. So we've got the design temperatures. Now, this is what everybody's been waiting on. Nobody has called. The design temperature for this area outside is 95 degrees. Okay. Why? Because it's not 100 every day. Yeah. Right. So the average over the last 50 years or whatever is 95 outside and 75 inside. Well, people are like, well, I want it cold. I want it at 70 degrees. Well, let me just tell you, if it's 95 outside, that's just not going to happen unless your system is oversized. If it's oversized, you will get it down there. And you better have a tight house too. So spray foamed and stuff like that. Then you can get your temperatures down. But the average house design of heating and air conditioning is 95 outside and 75 inside.
And the I-joists?
Yeah. So don't be calling your air conditioning guy if it's in the 60s. You're set. You got it set on 60 and it's only 77. Well, that may be all you get out of it, right? When it's 97 outside. So that's the thing you want to. If you're in the 70s, your system's doing all it can do right now, right? Now it starts getting up 79, 80. You may have more issues. Then you could call us and or text us. 955-9415 is to the 757 radio show. And thank you guys for a great call. We got three great questions in today. So thank you all.
Y'all have a great night.
The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.